Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a wicked day. Welcome back to the videos where today we are going to be finally getting started on some mods on my first ever European car. This right here is my new Audi S3. I've had this thing for about 1,000 Ks now, maybe just over like 2 weeks. By far, probably one of the most comfortable cars I've ever been in my life. This right here being the performance pack with like all the like pleated leather seats and oh, it's just such a beautiful car. I absolutely love it. Doesn't match the power of the Falcon, not really, but it is still just an absolute godsend to drive. It is. However, there is one thing on this car that's not really an issue. It never really had this feature when it came out, and it has to do with the infotainment on this car. From factory, the Audi S3 in the pre-facelift model, so between, I believe, 2014 and 2015. Then I think they did the facelift in 2016 at some point, but they only had Bluetooth audio. So when it came to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, these cars didn't have anything. And since having CarPlay and a couple of other cars that I've owned in the past, I feel like this thing just deserves it, honestly. But yeah, I love the look of this thing. But today we're gonna be doing the first ever mods to this thing. We're gonna be installing CarPlay. So after doing some internet scouring, I came across this kit on AliExpress. It was 200 bucks. I've seen people install them before and people rave on about them on the Audi forums. So today we're gonna be installing a stage 1 CarPlay unit for the Audi. It's not stage 1, it's just a CarPlay unit. I thought from the forums you guys would get me, but yeah. So this kit right here is from a company called Roadtop. Now I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below. So if you guys wanna pick up this kit right here, it will be down there as well. Got some instructions for the kit, and this right here is what you guys are gonna be wanting. This right here is like a multimedia box kind of thing. And basically what happens is this adapts to the factory wiring in the car. So when you do a long press of the media button in the car, whenever you drive, it will basically connect to this. This will connect to your phone, so you have CarPlay in the car. Now, obviously these cars in the pre-facelift model, they do have a non-touch screen. So that's something to keep in mind when you are doing a CarPlay unit on these. You'll still need to use that little rotary knob inside the car to be able to select the CarPlay stuff. They do actually make a full screen replacement in these cars as well that puts a massive like 10-inch touchscreen in them. I think it's cool-ish. One of the massive benefits of this car is the fact that I can put the screen down, especially at night. Sometimes it does get a bit too crazy in your face, especially on these European cars where they kind of just attach the screen at the top somewhere. It's kind of weird. Some people like it. Personally, I like the little fold down screen. It's pretty cool. The main reason I'm doing it is the stock navigation on these things does need a bit of an update. It's missing a whole bunch of roads. So yeah, I'm doing it for the main fact that I can use Google Maps on the car as well. So this little unit right here will also come with everything that you need to pair it to the car. So this is basically just a bridging harness that'll go between your OEM wiring and the new unit. It'll also come with some camera cables. It looks like you can also connect a front camera, reverse camera, all that sort of stuff there as well. So you can do some little cool things. Comes with an auxiliary cable as well. And also comes with another little bridging harness. Looks like that one there could be for an antenna. Oh, it's GPS. There you go, cool, excellent. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is jump in the car and we are going to remove the factory box with the supplied keys, the little Audi key things, pretty cool. And then we're gonna be removing the glove box as well because we're gonna be wanting to stash our little black box up behind the dash, fix it there so it doesn't rattle about. So let's go in there, remove the factory unit, and then we'll remove the glove box as well. All right, well, so far so easy. The glove box is out, sitting down on the ground right now. I thought it'd just be easier just to remove absolutely everything. So that way we can have a bit of a look and see exactly where we want to mount this black box right here. Apparently there's a lot of storage room somewhere up here. Oh yeah, there's a fair bit. Yeah, beautiful, it's a bit dusty. What I've done is I've actually connected all the wiring up to this black box right here. So you guys can see I have the video stuff there, which is all good and well. To be honest, it actually doesn't even look like that needs to be in there because it just looks like you can install additional features to it, and I don't really know why. The only thing I do want to do is I do want to run wired Apple CarPlay, so maybe I can run Apple CarPlay through that USB, so I might leave that. Aside from that, the RF cable is now in the LVDS, which I'm guessing is the camera for the rear, is there as well. And I've also got all of the CAN controls and wiring and stuff like that in there as well, which just basically bridges between the two factory connectors. What I'm gonna do right now is basically put everything in the car, start it up, and see if it all works before we start mounting this whole kit. Now, before we go any further, there is some stuff that we need to do to this box right here. Mainly has stuff to do with these toggle switches here. So depending on this variant, whether you have the 5.8 or the 7-inch, you do have to switch some of these pins right here. With the 7-inch monitor, you can see that I'm starting with all the pins flicked up. I need to flick down 1, 2, 3, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, and 6 are pushed down. So now what we have to do now, chuck this straight in the car. So that's simple. Okay, so this kit is pretty self-explanatory. What we're gonna do first is basically just connect everything that we have here to the units. So, all right, so first of all, we're going to plug the largest connector in, pulling this back. Now looking around the unit, the other things we need to connect is this and this, which is going to be this right here, which is your rear camera, and that will be bridged now into the unit as well. The only thing that needed to do now is literally just plug these two here into your factory units, and then your rear camera then plugs into where the original rear camera did, the dark gray port on this box right here. Okay, all right, so now everything from these two units is now talking to each other. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I actually didn't need to remove any of these, but I did anyway, to remove the glove box. So we're going to reconnect this right here, the blue one as well, and the yellow one, which I'm not quite sure, it could be parking sensors or something similar. I'm not entirely sure what the yellow one is, but this entire unit here is now fully plugged in. Although it looks like an absolute mess of wiring right now, this is a very, very simple setup. So all the factory wiring is still talking to each other. This is just taking what it needs. This is just taking what it needs from the factory harness. What we'll do right now is we'll put the accessories on the car. We'll have to do some quick settings changes, but aside from that, everything here is basically ready to go. So we'll leave that all sitting there for now. We'll come back to it in just a sec. The last thing that's needed to be done, which you guys will probably find in the box, is this right here. It's just a little auxiliary thing for the factory MMI, and plug this little fella straight into there. Done, easy. All right, so if I've done everything correctly, it should just start up. Everything should just work as per usual. Beautiful. So what we need to go do right now is we need to basically remove our phone from the factory Bluetooth setup on this car. So we'll quickly go do that, because we're going to be connecting everything now to our new box. Okay, so I'm just jumping into some of these settings right now to go to device management, and we're going to be deleting everything on here. Okay, so now we're all sorted there. We have absolutely no phones connected in the car at the moment. Now I'm going to be going directly to media, which is going to be showing your Bluetooth stuff. We're going to be going up to source, and we're going to be selecting the external audio player. No idea why. I'm guessing it has something to do with this little thing right here. But yes, that is what you have to do. I'm guessing what this does right here is it bridges the auxiliary signal from this little unit right here. I don't even know if this actually needs to be connected, but hey, I'm not quite sure, so be it. Anyway, that is everything that we've done now in the car. So, theoretically, I haven't actually connected my phone up to it just yet, but now we should be able to literally just hold down this media key for 3 seconds, and it should switch. There you go, I had a real relay go, and now we have CarPlay in the S3, which is very, very cool. As you guys can see, we can also do Android Auto here, AirPlay, so you can literally just connect your phone and you can show exactly what's on your phone on the screen. Of course, this is not touchscreen, but that's completely fine with me. You also have your alternative cameras here as well, so you have your front camera if you wanted to connect that as well, and everything works just perfectly directly through here. So if you're going to be using it wirelessly, which I'm guessing most people will, go to your setup, and you want to set up Bluetooth on your phone on this one right here. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to do that in just a second. But once you've done that, your CarPlay should be working. I'm first of all just going to see if this USB will actually allow me to use CarPlay, because I do want to run wired Apple CarPlay. My phone doesn't last very long on a charge anymore. But yeah, aside from that, CarPlay will work either way. Okay, so it could just be my cable, but it looks like wired CarPlay doesn't actually work on this thing. I'm not quite sure. That's all right. Either way, we're going to be connecting it to the car. So we will jump onto our Bluetooth settings right here. Looks like that one is already there. Car 2C1. We'll do that real quick. Looks like we are connected right there. Connect to CarPlay. Oi, there we go. Okay, it's a little haggard looking. It's not terrible. And the Jezebels as well. How good. And all of the audio works just as normal. And it sounds pretty good as well. Stoked about that. That's wicked. Okay, so now we've verified that absolutely everything for the CarPlay is working. I will admit this rotary dial is kind of a little bit annoying with this sort of stuff, but either way, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now everything is sorted. We have our CarPlay working. What we're gonna do now is turn the car back off. Everything is all working as per normal. Is basically remove this unit again. Once that's all sorted, just keep a note of all the wiring that you plugged into the back of this unit. We are now going to be tucking away the black box somewhere up in the cabin here, and we will then feed all the wires through, and we put the glove box back in, and then we will refit that unit there, so that way everything looks nice and stock. All right, let's disconnect that and find a spot to put the black box. All right, so one thing I'm gonna be removing from the kit is this thing right here. So because I don't need a front camera, I don't need a rear camera, I don't need anything else at all right here whatsoever, and I don't need this because it doesn't work with wide CarPlay. That can just go in the bin. No reason to put it up under the dash and potentially make more rattles and squeaks, so if you guys aren't gonna be using that, no need to even connect it, doesn't do anything. Okay, so although there's a lot of wires, I'm trying to keep this the nicest install possible. So if anyone wants to come and remove it, that makes it nice and easy. So I've fed everything that needs to connect to this unit down in behind the console there. I tried to mount this unit up behind the dash. There's not really as much room as I hoped up there. So zip tied it. This foam here is like pressed on to the top. So I've just gone underneath that foam and I've just loosely fitted a zip tie to it, so that way this isn't going to move around and start rattling on my beautifully rattle-free interior. So if anything starts to rattle after this, I'm gonna be so upset. So now the only thing I need to do is just, I need to obviously put this down there as well, but that's quite a shorter cable, so I'm gonna do that in a second. Obviously, if you went through and disconnected any lights, you can see I disconnected some lights down here as well. Make sure they're all connected as well. Aside from that, this thing is ready to be lifted up back into the glove box position. Now, I hope they make this nice and easy for me. All right, so one thing I would recommend is when you're doing this as well, try to leave all the bolts loose until you get everything into its final mounting spot, because this is going to want to move around and change on you, and it's very annoying. So I've now got every single bolt situated. What I would recommend is starting from the hardest to get bolts, because God forbid if you haven't seated those bolts properly and they drop down behind the dash, you have to remove everything again to pick up those bolts. So we're going to put on the long extension. Now also, if you guys are finding at the moment that some bits aren't sitting right, like if you were to put this here up and you find that the glove box isn't sitting properly, there is a bit of adjustment in this glove box, so I would recommend going and doing that now. And now the very last thing to do is reinstall this box right here. So grab all the factory connections and everything out of here that you need. And now that we have everything there, I'm just going to connect everything up just like factory. And now that it's all connected, you can slide this all up into place. All right, just like that, she's done. How good is that? Also, don't forget to plug in that thing right there too. Beautiful. That is a job well done. All right, well, that is all there is to it. Let's jump in. Let's make sure everything still works properly. As you can see, everything is back together. We'll turn the accessories. Screen should pop out nicely. Beautiful. So now we hold down the media key. Beautiful. Now we have CarPlay, which should just load up pretty much instantly. Audio is all working. Everything is all working. Audio is all working. Spotify is all working. Everything looks as good as you'll get in a pre-facelift 8V. Now, once again, you can leave out that small harness. It just basically frees up a whole bunch of room down there. I would recommend it if you're looking at playing, I guess, movies or anything through USB. That's probably the reason why it has that there. I won't be watching movies on this little tiny 7-inch screen. Everything's real snappy too. I like it. Hell yeah. And also, for those wondering, your rear camera still works, no worries at all. By the way, that's just my camera flickering. Just, yeah, the screen is not doing that in real life, trust me. Well, there you have it, guys. My Golf R now has Apple CarPlay, which is sick. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it. I haven't done a video in so incredibly long. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I have planned, but if you guys want to see anything with the Audi, please let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts, because I have honestly no idea what to do with it, apart from just leave it stock and daily it. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. See you later.